Hi everyone. So today I'm going to talk about tension issues. A lot of people right now are pulling out their machines for the first time or for the first time in a while and are having some struggles with tensions, especially when it comes to your bobbin case. So I'm going to show two different types of bobbin cases today. I'm going to show a drop-in bobbin and also a rotary hook bobbin and how you properly thread them and how you take a look at your tensions. A lot of people right now are sewing, being home and making either masks or caps or gowns, and it's so appreciated. But we are getting lots and lots of questions about tension, so I'm going to go over some of those tensions today. An example of what your stitch might look like if your bobbin is not in tension is this stitch right here. You can see I have these black dots showing on top. That's because that black thread is my bobbin thread and it's getting pulled up to the top. That means that my bobbin is either not in tension or it is not in a tight enough tension, so you may have to adjust the bobbin case on your machine. If you refer to your owner's manual or you talk to your dealer, they can assist you in showing you how to properly tighten your tension or adjust it. There are two main types of bobbin cases depending on the machine that you have. One is a rotary hook, which is a separate bobbin case that you pull out. You put your bobbin in here and then you put that into the machine. So I will show that second. For a lot of newer machines, they do have what is called a drop-in bobbin case. That is this type right here. It sits in the machine, has a little cover on top. But when it says drop in, that does not mean that you just drop in your bobbin and that it's ready to go. Most machines that have a drop-in bobbin case do have a tension that the thread is going to have to go into to make sure that your machine is going to stitch properly. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. There is, right about here, a little tension guide that your thread is going to go into. So when I place my bobbin into my bobbin case, you do want to make sure that your thread is coming off properly. When I bring my thread around, I'm going to bring it down towards the bottom so that it gets into this little tension guide, and you're going to pull your thread into the tension. If your thread is not in the tension guide, you are going to have loose stitching on top of your fabric. When you're talking about tension, you have your top thread and you have your bobbin thread. If you are having issues with the thread on top of your fabric, that will generally be an issue with your bobbin thread. If you are having an issue with thread underneath the fabric, that is generally your needle thread. It is usually opposite. This is a front-loading bobbin or a rotary hook bobbin case. This is where the bobbin case will pull out and your bobbin sits in the bobbin case. So for these bobbins, you are going to place your bobbin in the bobbin case. And over here on the side, there is going to be a little slit, and there's going to be a little metal piece that your thread is going to, it goes into the slit, and it gets pulled underneath the clip. This clip right here is your tension guide, and so your thread needs to go in that tension guide to provide proper tension. If that clip is very loose, there is a screw right here that you can tighten to adjust your tension. So if you feel like your thread is pulling out significantly, you can tighten that up a little bit to adjust your tension. Then you're going to grab the little arm, you're going to place that in, and it will sit back in. So again, you pull your arm, take that out, your bobbin is going to sit in the bobbin case, it goes into the slit, and it gets caught underneath the tension. One issue that we see pretty frequently on machines is something like this. So that green thread is actually the thread that I have in the needle of this machine, and this blue thread is what I have in the bobbin. So when you're stitching, it looks nice on top. There's my nice green stitch there, and on the bottom you have a big jumbled mess like this. Generally, that means that there is something wrong with your upper tension, because all of that green thread, which is my upper thread, is being pulled down to the bottom. The main place where we see people not having their thread in a proper tension is in what's called the take-up lever. So in my machine here, this particular machine gets threaded right down here. It comes up and it comes through this guy right here. That is called the take-up lever. This metal right here. So when your needle is going up and down, that take-up lever goes up and down as well. If your thread is not hooked into the take-up lever, as this is hooked in right here, you will not have good tension. Another issue that we see in threading is not making sure that the foot is in the up position when you are threading. You want to make sure, because when your foot is down, you have tension. When your foot is up, you do not have tension. You want to make sure all of your tensions are open before you thread the machine, so you can make sure that your thread gets caught in all of the proper tensions. By making sure that your presser foot is up, and also that you are hooking your thread into the take-up lever, you can make sure that you are not going to have a big jumbled mess down here. You're going to have a nice even stitch.